Welcome to my channel. I've seen so many people mixing up fabric paints using acrylic paints and a medium which they mix in. And I know from my experience that the paint finish is often quite hard on the fabric and you don't get a really pretty range of colors. But there is another way to do that, and I'd like to show you how to make transparent fabric paints which are actually designed for textiles, and you'll be able to do this yourself at home. I think in most countries you'll find that you're able to order the materials online quite easily because they are basic supplies, and you will be able to get a whole selection of colors. I had a shop for nearly 25 years, and we used to mix up a range of nearly 100 different fabric painting colors using this particular method. And I had a book with all the instructions of how to mix up each and every color, and so it goes on and on and on. So today I'd like to show you one color, how to mix that. And I'm using a blue simply because it just shows really well on camera. So to begin with, I'm going to need something that is called extender or clear cut or emulsion. And it is a white jelly-like substance that has absolutely no color whatsoever. So you can see if I'm putting that on my skin, there's no color at all. And this is a transparent base that is used in screen printing, and you can use this base to tint it to make the colors that you want. So the next thing you're going to need is some pigment, and the pigment you can think of as being like food coloring, which in its raw state you wouldn't really be able to paint with this. It wouldn't go very far, but it's highly concentrated. So when you add your pigment, or if you're wanting an analogy, your food coloring into your extender, emulsion, clear cut, whatever your country calls it, which you can think of as your cake battering, it's going to dilute the color to make it less intense. Not a pastel color, because this is not white. It's going to make it less intense. It's transparent. So the idea here is that I'm going to mix some into my extender, some of this pigment, and slowly but surely I'm going to actually increase the amount. Now this is a highly concentrated color, so please bear with me as I'm going with this, because you'll see that you're able to get it to go darker and darker. Those two little drops of paint have produced this beautiful blue color here, which you can see. And I'm just going to mix this through on the top. I'm not going to mix the whole thing together right now because that will be a bit tedious. And I have prepared a piece of fabric so that I can have a record of what I've painted. So just with 2 drops of my pigment that I've mixed into my paste, I'm able to get this lovely color. And you can already see that as I'm applying it, it is a transparent color. And that is to your advantage because you're able to do wonderful shading with it. Now I'm going to add another 3 drops. I want to get this progression going quite nicely so that you can see the contrast. So I've added another 3 drops to that, and I'm going to mix this in. And you'll be able to go from a very light translucent color to a very dark color in no time at all. So I'm just going to pick up a bit of this that I've mixed here, and already you can see my color is getting deeper and deeper. And this is the joy about being able to mix up these paints yourself, is that you're able to really play around with the colors that you want. I normally would buy the pigment and mix up a very dark color and then just have some of this extender or clear cut emulsion, and then I would be able to reduce the color as I need it. So I go from dark to light in this. The nice thing about this paint is that once it's dry, you just iron it with a hot dry iron to set the color. And having set the color, it is fully washable and it's soft and flexible, which is absolutely gorgeous if you're doing clothing. So look how nicely I'm getting a different shade of the same blue, but the color is still translucent. So you can imagine if you're doing something like a bowl of poppies and you wanted to work with reds and you wanted to be able to shade them, how gorgeous this is going to be, because it's going to allow you to just play around with your color, but you'll get that lovely transparent feel to the actual flower. So I've added another 3 or 4 drops here, and I'm just mixing that into my color. And you can see already that you're getting such a nice variety of different tonal values here from that one pigment. There we go. And I'm just going to add in some more. I'm wanting to go dark quite quickly now because otherwise it's going to take a long time. So remember that these are transparent fabric paint colors. You will find these from screen printing suppliers and maybe some art stores, but it will depend on where you live. But the best thing to do is just to go to a screen printing supplier. You want water-based, transparent base, which is your extender, your clear cut or your emulsion, and you want your pigments. And pigments that are water-based because they're going to get washed in water. There we go. So one lot of extender, one lot of pigment, and we already have this beautiful range of colors to play around with. Just remember the secret is that once you have completed your design and you've allowed it to dry, that you must make sure that you heat set it. And this you can use to make a whole wonderful range of colors. If you were to buy, say, 5 liters of extender and your pigments, you might pay a little bit to begin with, but it's going to last you a really long time. So if you enjoy your fabric painting, this is the way to go. And as I said to you right at the very beginning, you're not limited to just working with this one color. You can play around, and if you do something like buy some white pigment, you'll be able to make a lot of pastel colors as well, playing around with your fabric painting designs. I hope this is helpful. Please leave your comments in the section below and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for joining me today. Bye.